Yo, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of the SWUS. Only 4 NBA games on the board today, but they're much better than the games were yesterday. I'm actually recording this super early, so I can't even tell you how we did last night yet. As of right now, I have the Wizards and Bulls over. That's what I need during the fourth quarter. It's on pace to be close, so we'll see with that one. The other games I have didn't even start yet. I'm recording this one early because I'm working on an MLB spreadsheet tonight, so I wanted to get this video out early. But yeah, there's 4 games on the board. I'm going through the first 3. The one that we'll go through all 4 of them on the live show tomorrow, 4 p.m. as always. So yeah, let's get it started.
Welcome to the SWUS. The SWUS. SWUS. Hey, get the SWUS.
First up, we got Lakers on the road in Milwaukee to play the Bucks. Looks like the Bucks are laying 5 points here at home, or 5.5, or 4.5, depending on your sports book. This line's kind of all over the place. Total sitting at 234. Let's take a quick look at the spreadsheet, and according to the model, we should see a 1-point Milwaukee win. Final score 118-117 Bucks. Injuries and inactives, and we'll start with the Lakers. Anthony Davis on the report, but he's listed as probable, so he most likely plays. LeBron James listed as doubtful for this one. Looks like he's going to sit the first leg of a back-to-back. The Lakers play Memphis tomorrow. Castleton, Vanderbilt, Gabe Vincent, and Christian Wood all still out for the Lakers. On the Milwaukee side, Chris Middleton and Giannis both on the report, but both are listed as probable, so I imagine both of these guys play. Before we get into this one, we need to take note that the Lakers are on the first leg of a back-to-back, like I just mentioned. They play the Grizzlies tomorrow. Now, not that Memphis is a huge game, but it is a Western Conference game as opposed to this one against the Bucks in the Eastern Conference. So when it comes down to tiebreakers at the end of this season, when it comes to playoff seeding, Memphis technically is the more important game here. Most likely, that's probably why LeBron James is listed as doubtful for this game. Betting trends on the Lakers side, 5-9 against the spread in their last 14 on the road. Certainly not good. They are 11-10 against the spread as road dogs this season, so they've been better catching points on the road. Milwaukee, 4-1 against the spread in their last 5. That's solid. 7-2 against the spread in their last 9 at home. Okay, Bucks. This particular head-to-head matchup, though, Lakers 5-8 against the spread in their last 13 meetings against the Bucks. So Bucks have slightly gotten the better of the Lakers, but Lakers are 3-0 against the spread in their last 3 trips to Milwaukee. So the Lakers have covered 3 in a row here. Trends for the total, Lakers are 8-3 to the over in their last 11, but they're 2-6 to the under in their last 8 on the road. Milwaukee 3-1 to the over in their last 4 overall, but they're 2-7 to the under in their last 9 at home. This particular head-to-head matchup, 3-1 to the over in their last 4 meetings, 1-5 to the under in their last 6 meetings in Milwaukee. So let's match these 2 teams up on the court. We'll start with some net efficiency numbers. These 2 teams pretty close. I mean, 14th to 18th in overall efficiency, and look at the strength of schedule. 1st and 2nd in the last 10 games. So these 2 teams playing pretty similar basketball as far as raw data goes. One thing we do have to take note of here before we switch the graphic up, though, look at the pace numbers. In the last 10 games, Lakers are 6th in pace. So the Lakers are running a fast pace. And without LeBron James in the lineup, the Lakers run even a faster pace. So Lakers are going to be looking to run in this game. Milwaukee on the season, 3-9 against the spread against the top 5 in pace, 4-16 against the spread against the top 10 in pace. So Milwaukee has really struggled with these fast-paced teams. Another thing to look at on this graphic, you can see in the last 10 games, this Lakers team definitely being powered by its offense. They're 3rd in offensive efficiency in the last 10, 24th in defensive efficiency. Now Milwaukee, 12-7 against the spread against top 10 offenses, so that's solid. The Bucks have done well against good offenses, but they're just 9-18 against the spread against bottom 10 defenses, so kind of a mixed bag there. Let's take a look at the matchup for the Lakers offense and effective field goal percentage in the last 10 games. 1st for the Lakers offense to 29th for the Bucks. Huge mismatch in favor of the Lakers on this side of the court. I will say Milwaukee does have the rebounding advantage, though, 7th to 30th. So don't expect to see many second chance opportunities for the Lakers here. And that's actually good for the Bucks because on the season, Milwaukee is 5-2 against the spread against bottom 5 offensive rebounding teams. A big matchup on this side of the court is going to be whether or not the Lakers are able to get to the foul line. As we know, getting to the free throw line is a huge part of the Lakers offense. In the last 10 games, they're 1st in free throw rate offensively. Here's the thing, though. Milwaukee's 3rd defensively. Milwaukee doesn't foul much, so we'll see if the Lakers are able to get the calls. The officiating is going to be a big part of this game. Are the Lakers able to get to the line or not? Let's take a look at the fast break numbers. As we know, that's been a huge part of the Lakers offense this season. They're actually 6th in fast break frequency, 6th in efficiency, and 6th in transition points per game. So Lakers 6th across the board as far as fast breaks go. Now, on paper, Milwaukee does have solid numbers defending the fast break, but on the season, the Bucks are just 8-14 against the spread against top 10 fast break frequencies. So against teams that run the fast break, Milwaukee has not been covering the number at a high rate. Here's some good news for the Bucks defense, though. The Lakers live at the rim. It's kind of been the story all year with this Lakers team. In the last 10 games, they're 3rd in frequency, 1st in efficiency at the basket. So getting to the rim, scoring at the rim, huge part of the Lakers offense. Milwaukee on the season, 6-2 against the spread against top 5 offenses in rim efficiency. So these offenses that rely on scoring at the basket haven't done well against Milwaukee. And you can see why. Look at the Bucks numbers defensively at the rim here in the last 10 games. 1st in frequency, meaning they are not letting you get close to the basket to attempt those shots. And that's terrible news for the Lakers, because on the season, they are 3-8 against the spread and 2-9 straight up against top 5 defenses in rim frequency. So against these defenses that don't let you inside to take those shots at the rim, the Lakers have really struggled. On the other side of the court, we got the Bucks offense, and you can see here, Milwaukee definitely has the edge on this side. Effective field goal percentage in the last 10 games, 9th to 21st. Also a sizable edge in the turnover department, 11th to 30th. Nobody has been forcing fewer turnovers than the Lakers defense. That being said, look how weird this is. Milwaukee just 7-14 against the spread against bottom 10 defenses in turnover rate. So against these defenses that don't force turnovers, the Bucks actually haven't covered the number at all. And weirdly enough, we see that same pattern when it comes to rebounding. You look at the numbers here in the last 10 games. Lakers defense 13th, Milwaukee's offense 28th. So that looks like a nice matchup for the Lakers. Bucks shouldn't get many second chance opportunities here. But on the season, the Lakers are just 8-13 against the spread against bottom 10 offenses in offensive rebounding. So when the Lakers have had these matchups, they haven't been covering. A big part of the battle on this side of the court is going to be getting to the free throw line. Same as the other side of the court. Milwaukee 10th in free throw rate in the last 10 games. Lakers defense 1st. Are the Bucks going to be able to get to the line here or not? Now, on the season, Milwaukee's 8-4-1 against the spread against top 5 defenses in free throw rate. So Milwaukee against these defenses that don't send you to the line has hit at a very high rate. And to make this handicap even more confusing, look at the Bucks transition numbers here. So on the season, they're 15th in fast break frequency, 5th in efficiency. They're 11th in the NBA in points per game in transition. Look at the Lakers defense against the fast break, 26th, 16th, or 26th in points per game allowed in transition. So on paper, this looks like a great matchup for the Bucks to score some points in transition. But on the season, the Bucks are just 4-16 against the spread against bottom 10 defenses in transition. So against these defenses that struggle to stop the fast break, the Bucks have a terrible hit rate. I mean, that's 20% against the spread. That's awful. Shot zones for the Bucks offense. We already know we're looking right at the jump shooting here. Milwaukee rarely attacks the basket. All of their shots come from outside. On the last 10 games, they're 4th in frequency from the long mid-range, 5th in frequency from above the break. And look at the efficiency numbers. They're not just shooting a lot of them, they are hitting. 2nd and 4th from those two zones. That accounts for 48% of the Bucks shot attempts come from those two zones. Look at the Lakers' defensive numbers against those two zones. 27th in efficiency, 24th in efficiency. And here's the kicker. Against teams that take those above the break 3 shots, Lakers 7-17 against the spread. That's against the top 10 teams in above the break 3-point frequency. So that's a really strong lean for the Bucks there, which is why I am ultimately on the Bucks here. I already bet it. I grabbed Milwaukee at -8. I already posted it in the Discord. I think the Bucks are the play here. They've looked great recently. When's the last time they lost a home game? We'll look it up real quick. When's the last time the Bucks lost a home game? Now, I understand we're not asking if they're going to win. We're asking if they're going to cover, but still. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, the last time the Bucks lost a home game was February 13th against the Heat. So we're talking about 6 weeks ago now since the Bucks last lost a game in Milwaukee. With no LeBron James, I expect the Bucks to cruise here. Give me Milwaukee. I got it -8. Next game. Golden State on the road in Miami. We got the Heat catching 2 points at home. Total sitting at 219. Let's take a quick look at the spreadsheet. And according to the model, we should see a 3-point Heat win. Final score 112-109 Miami. Injuries and inactives, and we'll start with Golden State here. Warriors are in pretty good shape injury-wise. You got Trace Jackson Davis on the report, but he's listed as questionable, so we'll wait and see with him. On the Miami side, Jaime Jaquez listed as questionable. Kevin Love listed as questionable. Caleb Martin listed as questionable. Tyler Hero is out, and Duncan Robinson is out as well. So the Heat are definitely not healthy. Heat's dealing with some shit right now. Before we get into this one, we need to point out that the Warriors are on the first leg of a back-to-back. They do have Orlando in Orlando tomorrow night. Now, neither game is particularly more important than the other, so I don't know if that affects the handicap at all, but it's something to take note of. Betting trends for Golden State, just 3-6 against the number in their last 9 overall. They are 10-3 against the spread in their last 13 on the road, though. Warriors have been much better on the road this year. Miami, 4-8 against the spread in their last 12, 1-5 against the spread in their last 6 at home. Some ugly looking trends from the Heat there. This particular head-to-head matchup has been all Miami. 5-12, the Warriors are 5-12 against the spread in their last 17 meetings with the Heat, 2-6 against the spread in their last 8 trips to Miami. Trends for the total: Golden State 4-1 to the over in their last 5, 4-12 to the under, though, in their last 16 on the road. As we know, Miami is all unders. 2-8 to the under in their last 10, 5-12 to the under in their last 17 at home. This particular head-to-head matchup, though, has been all overs. 8-3 to the over in their last 11 meetings. 4-1 to the over in their last 5 meetings in Miami. So let's match these two teams up on the court. We'll start with some overall net efficiency numbers, and another matchup where they're pretty even here. In net efficiency, Warriors are 15th in the last 10 games. Heat are 16th. Strength of schedule, Warriors are 19th, Heat are 16th. So these two teams, as far as raw data goes, pretty even in the last 10 games. Take a look at the pace, though. Golden State up at 10th in the last 10. Warriors running a bit of a faster pace. Miami all the way back at 28th. So Miami running a much slower pace. Golden State on the season 7-5 against the spread against the bottom 5 in pace. So, I mean, they've done well against these slower paced teams, but 7-5 isn't a crazy angle. Golden State's definitely been powered by their offense recently. They're 10th in overall offensive efficiency in their last 10 games. That being said, this matchup's going to be tough, man. They're on the road in Miami. Look at the rebounding numbers. In the last 10 games, Golden State 4th. So second chance opportunities has been a big part of Golden State's offense. Probably not going to be here. Miami's 3rd in defensive rebounding rate in the last 10. They don't allow you to get second chance points. Free throw rate. Don't expect many trips to the foul line for Golden State here. 29th in the last 10, 8th for Miami's defense. And the Heat on the season are 8-5 against the spread against the bottom 5 in offensive free throw rate. So against these teams that can't get to the foul line, Heat have a nice little hit rate here. We already know the fast break is not going to be there for Golden State. Warriors don't run the fast break anyway. They're 29th in frequency, 27th in efficiency. They're 27th in the NBA this year in transition points per game. Look at Miami's defensive numbers: 6th, 4th. They're 2nd in points per game allowed. So Miami's got an elite fast break defense here. Golden State just 3-6 against the spread against top 5 fast break defenses, so not good there. And check this out: Miami against teams that don't run the fast break, or against bad fast breaks, I should say. Miami 1-8 to the under against bottom 5 offensive fast break inefficiency. So against bad fast breaks, Miami's 1-8 to the under this year. Shot zones for the Warriors offense. Obviously, we're taking a look at jump shooting. In the last 10 games, Warriors are 7th in frequency from the long mid range, 9th in frequency from the above the break 3. Efficiency numbers are okay. I mean, they're not hitting them at a crazy rate, but they are hitting them a little bit. That actually does play into the weakness of Miami's defense. They're just 29th and 25th against those 2 shots. So that looks like a positive angle for Golden State. That being said, on the season, Miami is 13-8-1 against the spread against top 10 teams in above the break 3 frequency. So against these offenses that rely on shooting the 3-point shot from the perimeter, like Golden State, Miami has an excellent hit rate. On the other side of the court, you got the Heat offense against the Golden State defense, and I mean, I guess you got to give the edge to the Warriors here. I mean, they have the edge in free throw rate, offensive rebounding. And look, Miami's been a terrible offensive rebounding team. Golden State on the season, 8-4 against the spread against bottom 5 offensive rebounding teams. So that's nice. And Miami's also been terrible about getting to the free throw line, just 25th in the last 10 games. Golden State 13-8-1 against the spread against bottom 10 offenses in free throw rate. As we know, defending the fast break has been a problem for Golden State all season. 23rd in frequency, 26th in efficiency. They're 27th in the NBA in points per game allowed in transition. So Golden State's really struggled to stop the fast break. Good news, though. Miami doesn't really run the fast break, and when they do, they're not good at it. 22nd, 25th, and 25th And that's really good news if you look at some trends here. Golden State 13-7-1 against the spread against bottom 10 offensive fast breaks. So against teams in the bottom 10 of fast break efficiency, Golden State 13-7-1 against the spread. We can pull up the shooting numbers for the Heat and point at that short mid-range shot that they love. Now, they're not hitting it as crazy as they were about a month ago, but in the last 10 games, Miami's still 8th in frequency, 14th in efficiency from that shot zone. The reason I bring this up, Golden State's been terrible against that shot, 29th and 26th. So there's a nice little positive angle for Miami. As far as betting this game, I actually think the wrong team's favored here. I think Miami's going to win this one. The problem is there are definitely some angles that I listed up there that I definitely like for Golden State. And I also think with what's going on in the NBA right now, Warriors got to be getting close to desperation mode. I mean, this team needs wins. Houston is what, one game out, a half game out now? Warriors are in danger of missing the play-in. So, I mean, this team really needs wins right now. So I think I'm more comfortable just jumping on the under at 219. I mean, Miami Heat unders have been basically automatic free money recently. So I think the move is just to take the under at 219. I haven't bet it yet, but I'm going to go under or pass. If I had to pick a side, gun to my head, I think I'd take the Heat here as dogs. Next game, Oklahoma City on the road in New Orleans. We got the Pellies catching a point at home, total sitting at 226.5. Let's take a quick look at the spreadsheet. According to the model, we should see a 3-point Pellies win. Final score 113-110 New Orleans. Injuries and inactives, and we'll start with Oklahoma City. And we got nobody on the injury report for the Thunder as of right now. So Thunder most likely at full strength here. On the Pelicans side, we got Brandon Ingram, who has been ruled out. He's missed a couple games now. Dyson Daniels is still out for the Pelicans as well. Before we get into this one, I want to point out that this is kind of a weird spot for both teams here. You got Oklahoma City on the first leg of a back-to-back. They play the Rockets tomorrow. Now, this is a big game against the Pelicans, so I don't know if that really affects anything. But then on the Pelly side, you got the Pelicans coming home from a 4-game road trip themselves, so it's not exactly a great spot for them either. So kind of a weird spot for both teams. Betting trends on the Oklahoma City side look terrible. Thunder just 2-8 against the number in their last 10 overall, 1-4 against the spread in their last 5 on the road. Trends on the New Orleans side look pretty good. 8-3 against the spread in their last 11, 3-1 against the spread in their last 4 at home. This particular head-to-head matchup has been all Thunder. Oklahoma City 7-3 against the spread in their last 10 meetings against the Pellies. And check this out. 8 in a row in New Orleans. Oklahoma City is 8-0 against the spread in their last 8 trips to New Orleans. Trends for the total in this one, all unders here. Oklahoma City 3-8 to the under in their last 11, 2-4 to the under in their last 6 on the road. New Orleans 3-12 to the under in their last 15, 1-5 to the under in their last 6 at home. This particular head-to-head matchup, 1-4 to the under in their last 5 meetings, 1-4 to the under in their last 5 meetings in New Orleans. So every single trend pointing towards an under here. So let's match these two teams up on the court. We'll start with some net efficiency numbers. You could see Pelicans have been playing better basketball than Oklahoma City. In overall net efficiency, we're talking 3rd for New Orleans, 13th for Oklahoma City. Strength of schedule pretty even too. In the last 10 games, 23rd for the Thunder, 25th for the Pelicans. Notice that both of these teams have been playing excellent defense recently. In the last 10 games, OKC 7th in defensive efficiency, Pelicans 2nd. And also, both these teams have played great basketball when they've seen other great defenses. So New Orleans on the season, 7-4-1 against the spread against top 5 defenses, 11-7-1 against the spread against top 10 defenses. OKC, 9-2-1 against the spread against top 5, 14-6-1 against top 10. So really no lean there. Both teams playing great defenses, but both teams have played great when they've played great defenses. Let's take a look at the matchup for Oklahoma City offensively. And you can see based on the numbers from the last 10 games that the Pellies have the edge on this side. We just mentioned that the Pelicans are 2nd in overall defensive efficiency in the last 10. Effective field goal percentage, 3rd in the last 10 compared to 13th for OKC's offense. New Orleans also a nice little rebounding advantage on this side, 6th to 21st. That being said, Oklahoma City's played fine in these types of matchups. On the season, 13-6-1 against the spread against top 10 defensive rebounding teams. So that should not scare you off a Thunder bet. Obviously, when we're handicapping an Oklahoma City game, we got to bring up the numbers in transition. And that's a weak spot for the Pellies defensively. 24th in frequency, 14th in efficiency. On the season, the Pellies are 20th in points per game allowed in transition. Obviously, we know Oklahoma City's numbers in transition are elite. 1st in frequency, 12th in efficiency. They're 2nd in the NBA in transition points per game. So obviously, that's a great matchup for Oklahoma City's offense. That being said, New Orleans on the season is 16-8 against the spread against top 10 offenses in transition frequency. So the Pelicans don't have great fast break defensive numbers, but against teams that run fast breaks, they're covering the number. Shot zones for the Thunder offense. They've been taking a lot of jump shots recently. In the last 10 games, 47% of the Thunder shot attempts have come from the long mid-range or the above the break three. They're decent as far as efficiency goes, 14th and 18th. That's exactly what the Pelicans want, by the way. Look at the Pelicans above the break three defense. 30th in frequency, 4th in efficiency. So the Pelicans want to force you into taking contested three-point shots, and a team like Oklahoma City that takes a lot of three-point shots might fall right into that trap. On the season, New Orleans 8-5 against the spread against top 5 offenses and above the break 3 frequency, 16-10-1 against the spread against top 10. So against offenses that shoot a lot of above the break threes, like Oklahoma City's been doing, New Orleans has a great hit rate. When we flip it over to the other side of the court and look at the matchup for the Pelly's offense, I mean, we got a lot of New Orleans angles here. First of all, effective field goal percentage 6th to 25th in favor of the Pelly's offense. Free throw rate 16th to 27th. Check this out. On the season, New Orleans 10-2-1 against the spread against bottom 5 defenses in free throw rate. So against defenses that foul a lot and send you to the line, 10-2-1 against the spread. Oklahoma City in the last 10 games, 27th in defensive free throw rate. So that's a real nice angle for the Pellies. But actually, it gets deeper than that. Look at the two categories where Oklahoma City has the edge here in the last 10 games. Rebounding, 5th to 23rd in favor of OKC. But New Orleans is actually 8-2 against the spread against top 5 defensive rebounding teams. So not having the rebounding edge has been no problem for the Pelicans offense this year. And then look at turnover rate, 2nd to 13th. So you're thinking, oh, Pelicans might have trouble holding on to the ball here. Oklahoma City can force some turnovers. New Orleans, 7-3 against the spread against top 5 defenses. So even the categories where Oklahoma City has the advantage, New Orleans has great hit rates against those types of teams. Obviously, we know the fast break probably not going to be there for the Pellies because they're playing Oklahoma City, and OKC doesn't let anyone get out on the fast break. On the season, they're 3rd in frequency, 2nd in efficiency. They actually lead the NBA in points per game allowed in transition. That being said, New Orleans against top 5 defenses against the fast break, frequency-wise, 9-1-1 against the spread, 6-3-1 against the spread against top 10. So, again, another area where it looks like an advantage for Oklahoma City, but New Orleans has been great against those types of teams. Shout zones for the Pelicans offense. We're going to look at the interior here. That's where the Pellies frequent the most, especially without Brandon Ingram on the floor. 9th in frequency in the paint, 13th in frequency at the rim, 11th in efficiency from both spots. So decent numbers scoring on the interior in the last 10 for New Orleans. Oklahoma City defensively at the rim and in the paint, 23rd and 11th. So Oklahoma City not really playing elite defense down there. New Orleans on the season, 14-8 against the spread against bottom 10 defenses at the rim. So there's a lot of angles that point towards the Pellies here. I don't love the idea of fading Oklahoma City coming off an embarrassing loss, but I truly think the handicap points to New Orleans pretty heavily here. So, I mean, not to mention the Pelicans have been playing better basketball overall. I mean, OKC is just not covering the number to save their lives right now. So, I'm going to take the Pellies, take them on the money line here as dogs. I think they're catching 1. I'm also taking a strong look at the under as well. We talked about how the trends all pointed towards an under. So, it'll be Pellies and under for me. Last game up is Dallas at Sacramento, and I actually didn't do this one yet. Both these teams play tonight, and neither game, actually, they're both starting now. So obviously, I didn't even start these. I'll do these overnight. Or you know what? Maybe I'll go live in the morning and handicap this one on the YouTube live like I did this morning. People like that. So I'll probably do that. But obviously, we'll go through it on the live show tomorrow at 4 p.m. I got Ronald, UCapper, coming on the show tomorrow. I think I have another guest too. I can't remember who it is. But yeah, that'll be at 4 p.m. Eastern time. Let's have ourselves a great Tuesday night. Hopefully by the time you're watching this, I had a winning Monday. We'll see. Remember to bet responsibly, and I'll talk to you in the Discord.